Hi, Year 7. We talked about it in our Zoom today, and I'll share a video about why the centuries are all a little bit hard to understand. But in a simple sense, this is how I approach a question where they just ask, what century is this? And you always just focus on the hundredths column onwards and then add 1. And that tells you the century that you're in. So we'll just do some examples here and then have a look at that video as well to kind of wrap your head around it. But we won't have lots of questions in the test on this, so try not to spend too much time worrying about it. Okay, so what I simply do is I kind of focus and go up to my hundredths column, and then I kind of put a box around it and go like that. And I go, any number from there onwards is the number I'm focusing on, and I just have to add 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So our answer is the 2nd century. And then you just add on whatever number is there. So the 2nd century AD. If you don't add that lettering on the end, then you could have an answer that could be from one end of the timeline or the other end of the timeline. So you have to specify that. Okay, the next one, 1, 2, 3. Yep, so we're going to go from there onwards. And the number is 31. 31 plus 1 is 32. So the 32nd century BC. Okay, this one here, 1914. Even though the numbers are the 1900s, we don't call it the 19th century, we call it something else. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. So all of that onwards is 19 plus 1, 20th. So that is the 20th century CE. So when people talk about all of this stuff in history, in like modern history, like World War I and World War II, World War I, it started in 1914, started in the 20th century. Okay, next one, 1, 2, 3. There's the numbers that we're focusing on. 17 plus 1 is 18. That's the 18th century BCE. Is that when Europeans arrived on the shores of Australia? No, because BC is before Common Era. But if it was CE, that would be 1788 when, Europeans came to Australia. Okay, this one, which is kind of, can throw people because it's such a little number, but just same rules again. 1, 2, 3. So we're only looking at here onwards. It's 0. It's blank, okay? But 0 plus 1 is 1. So it's the 1st century CE. And then big numbers can kind of throw you again, but keep using the same rule. 1, 2, 3. So here onwards, really big number, but you still just add 1. So 600 plus 1 is 601. 601st century BC. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. It's only a small part of the test, but it's something that you want to make sure you have your head wrapped around because you'll use this skill all the way up to year 10 and potentially 11 and 12. Okay, bye.